Okay, here we go. Good morning. um, I forgot to mention in the previous Dice app project, but this the Android Studio has a Git integrated, and it allows you to come up here and link your GitHub profile, and like that you can push and do version control with GitHub, which I think is excellent because um, you can actually have your project here online. I created a README file, which shows pretty much a description of the project. And additionally, you can go into your profile and see that you've been working on stuff, and it shows, in case you ever get employed or you need this, you need proof, right? But yeah, that's that. Let's go back to the project. Also, I forgot to mention the main activity. Let me see this. Before I forget, let me open. That thing is called the activity main. Let's go to the activity main. So I remember we were discussing the whole thing of the app going behind the app bar and it extended to the top of the screen. I'll show you now. Let me see. Where's activity main right here? What I had to do was I had to create a pretty much the fragment container. I had to put it inside a wrapper container, which is a constraint layout container. Like that, I can use the Android Fit System Windows True in order for it to not go beyond the app bar and the status bar. Let me see if I can load the application. Okay, as you can see, well, this is the Pixel 2. Let me show you in the Pixel 8, which that's one of the devices that was having the problem. As you can see, the app itself, the list fragment is under the title, not behind it extending all the way to the top. So that was pretty cool. I had to do this. This is something. And by the way, I did this. I asked Google Gemini, the AI, and this is what it pretty much gave me this solution, which you create a constraint layout, and then the fragment container view goes inside of it. Like that, I can use the Fit System Windows True. And here's some notes explaining that. Okay, so let's move on to the project. This project is for Chapter 6. It uses fragments, or better yet, formally introduces fragments because I think we did some fragments in Chapter 5. But Chapter 6 explains and applies. It applies the fragments in detail. The band database app first screen uses a list activity, as you can see here, that hosts a list fragment with buttons or options that you can select, and you can go to the details fragment. And later on, I'll show the tablet how you could combine both together and host two at the same time. So the second screen just pretty much shows you details of the fragment and pretty much the information about the band. This model is composed of two classes, the band class and the band repository class, right? The band class uses three properties, which is the ID, the ID and the name and the description. And the repository holds the list of bands. I think I have the repository here somewhere. Uh, is it in the strings? It is. Here's the list. Yeah. The view is composed of the activity and the fragment layout files. And the main activities layout, or the activity main, right, specifies the fragment container view, which I showed right here. Boom. And it holds the nav host fragment, um, which the nav host fragment serves as the container for the list fragment and the details fragment. Um, when the app runs the nav host, I'm sorry, I have a catarro. The nav host fragment displays the list fragments by default. So this is what you see as soon as you start the app. And when any of these options are selected, the nav host fragment then displays the details fragment. Uh, Let me see if it shows it here by default. I would say it's this one here, the layout or the navigation. Clearly, this is the default fragment that shows up once the app is loaded. The main activity class uses setup action. Let me see. It says setup action bar nav controller. So navigating to the details fragment automatically places the up button. This here. Let me see if I can show. Yeah. Oops. The up button in the app bar, which you can navigate back. It says app button. They call it app button, but it's really a back button or app. I guess up if you want to go up one directory or one level. The app compat activity method on the on support navigate. This method here. Let me see. Where's the on support navigate right here? This is what I was looking for. Yeah, this is where it calls it clicks the up button. Yeah, attempts to navigate to the navigation stack and navigates to returns true. Navigation was handled. Otherwise, it falls back to the superclasses implementation. The navigate up. This is the one right here. This is the method that navigates back to the list screen. Once you go here, you go back, and it should work here also in the Pixel 2. I'm using the Pixel 2, Pixel 8, and the Nexus tablet. Let me go ahead and rotate it, show that it works. Perfect. I'm able to scroll. So the list fragment class loads the layout file that defines the linear layout. And this lists the bands that are obtained from the band repository, from that, where's that list? The strings list. And geez, I got lost here for a minute. What am I doing here? Okay, let's go back. Yeah. So, anyways, these buttons initially, if you would select one of the bands, it'll give you the same information for the same band. I think it was the first one, which was the Beatles. Um, but the buttons they all share the same click listener, which when any of the buttons is clicked, the click listener gets the buttons nav controller and calls the navigate class to navigate to the details fragment, which is this one here. Let me see if I can find it here in the main activity. Pretty much this is it. Part of the navigation function of the app. Now, chapter I think 6.5 it uses fragment arguments, and this is to be able to select a band and get the details for that specific band. Pretty much what I was talking about previously about the Beatles just being the only band that even if you select any other buttons, you'll see the details for the Beatles. Um, so the fragment argument, has the name, the default value, and the type. So it has the name, the default value, and then the type of data type. Now, a band ID is used to send the ID to the details fragment. Let me see, where's the details? The band ID is a list right here. Band ID, boom, right here. Okay, and it pretty much enables or this recycler view is for to do the whole thing, the list in order for you to scroll up and down. Otherwise, it'll truncate and you won't be able to see the bottom options. um, so what else we have here? Let's see. We're gonna go to details fragment. Pretty much the recycler view has to do with I think it was chapter 6.5 or 6.6, and it's kind of like a type of a container, and it's used to displaying the list of bands in a scrollable method, right? It uses two classes. I think it was called the recycler view adapter and recycler view hold. Let me see, recycler view adapter and recycler view hold. Anyways, but that's what makes the app function. It's got to be here somewhere. Um, and then the final part of the chapter is hosting both fragments, which I'm going to show recently in a minute. Let me see, band adapter on click listener. Okay, let's move on to the Nexus tablet. Let's go ahead and load the app. As you can see, you have the left side here. It has the the um the list fragment, and here you have the details fragment. If you move it horizontal or in landscape, you can see it still works, and it has the list. You can scroll. You click on any of the options. This function is interesting because this really it kind of reminds me of CSS with HTML. There's something in CSS called media queries, and it's for like making websites responsive. This uses something similar in order to enable the app to run and host two different um, fragments as opposed to just using one for a smaller device like a phone, which is interesting. Let me see if I could find that because I kind of when I was doing it, I was playing with it, and I think it's gonna be here. The layouts. Here we go. This is it. This is it. The 600. I don't know. This is called. I forgot. This is called display pixels or independent pixels. But this is the file that creates this responsive layout, which it's two different fragments. And to show you the CSS, let me see if I can give you a quick view here of CSS. As you can see, this is the developer mode in the browser, and I have here as responsive. If I enlarge it or shrink it, it starts to create a different layout. As you notice, the menu on top. Okay, this is pretty slow right here. You see the full menu. When you bring it to a smaller device, the menu collapses and you get this. And it kind of reminded me of that because that's what you do with media queries in CSS. That was pretty interesting, and I kind of like CSS a lot because you could do like so much designing with the whole interface and all that. But yeah, this is the the band database app. Pretty cool app. Thank you. Oh, let me show you the. Did I show you the phone that it rotates? Yes, it does. Cool beans.